Hey, in this video, we're going to go over downspouts. Let's talk about downspouts. Now, a gutter system is what it's called. A gutter system is built into two different parts. It has two different parts to it. One is the gutters, and the other one is the downspouts. A lot of times people refer to gutters as the entire thing, but there are gutters and there are downspouts, and they both work together. Gutters are the horizontal part that capture that rainwater, and downspouts are the vertical part that redirect and channel that water and take it wherever you need it to go. So the definition of a downspout is a pipe to carry rainwater from a roof to a drain or to a ground level. Downspouts come in different shapes and sizes. It's the second part of a gutter system, like I mentioned before. Rectangular corrugated is the most common, and you can see that in this picture here. This is a corrugated downspout. This is the most common type of downspout. They come in aluminum, steel, or copper, and they may come in different types of metals, but these three are the most common, aluminum being the single most common. They're commonly sold in 10-foot sections. Unlike gutters that can come in seamless sections, downspouts are sold in 10-foot sections. The reason why is because downspout machines are very expensive, and most companies don't actually own, gutter companies don't own a downspout machine, but they own a gutter machine. Downspouts can be bought online. They can be bought from a local hardware store like Home Depot or Lowe's, but a gutter company like our own, we buy it from a building supply company, and we can buy it in different colors and different sizes. But we primarily get the corrugated downspouts that you can see right here, the rectangular ones. I'm going to show you a video here of how downspouts are made. So once again, it's being similar to how gutters are made. This is being run out of a machine when there's just coil, and the machine bends it in this particular way. And then you're able to chop it and cut it to whatever length you need it. It's uncommon for a company to have this. It's very, very common to have this in 10-foot sections, and that's how they're built. They're built in 10-foot sections. So if you have a 30-foot building, a 30-foot gutter, you have 3 downspouts that connect into each other to take that downspout or that water down to the ground. So there you have it. That is how. That is what a downspout is. Next part is downspout extensions. Now, this is a really important slide for us to go over. Downspout extensions, they're used to extend the flow of rainwater away from a structure. They come in different shapes and sizes. They usually extend 3 to 10 feet away from a building or structure. They're able to tip up and down or go lower. Tip up and down so you can lower it and raise it back up. The most common is a continuation of an existing downspout. As you can see here, this here is an extension, and this is the downspout. So this is a continuation of the existing downspout. It all blends in. It all looks like it's one piece. It must direct water down, so it has to be at an angle. As you can see here, this part is higher and this is lower. It's directing water down, and they are the most commonly involved in our maintenance calls. There's different types of downspout and extensions, but ultimately they serve the same purpose. So you have the gutters, and then you have the downspouts, and then you have the extension at the bottom. And the purpose of that is to drain that water away from the gutters and the downspouts, drain it away as far away as possible from the building or structure, whatever you're trying to do. There's an accordion type right here. This is something you can get at Home Depot or Lowe's. It's about 20 bucks. There's a discharge hose, and that's just a rubber hose that directs water away from one place to another. These can also go underground, these downspout extensions, where they're buried and they're dug out, and they can drain 10, 20, 30, 50 feet away from a building. Then there is a splash block. It's not an extension, but the water doesn't get into the soil or into the ground. The water just hits this block and it drains away. There are decorative downspout extensions or splash blocks, just like this here. You can also get these online. Some people like them. And then chase drains. The purpose of this is cut into concrete or cut into a pathway, and it drains water away. Depending on how this is sloped, I'm not sure, but it would drain water in one direction or the other. Or if this is a high point, it would drain direction on both ends. You can also accomplish the same thing by directing if you're trying to accomplish getting water away from the foundation of the home. You can accomplish that another way by landscaping and being decorative with it. This is the most expensive option, but it looks really nice, and if it works for your home or for the home, that's great. But this is just built out of rocks here, and it's decorative, it looks great, but ultimately it's serving the purpose of getting water away from one place and directing it to another place. And this is a standard downspout extension right here. It is the single most common way for extensions to be installed by a gutter company like our own. So how far does water need to drain away from the foundation of a home? Simply put, it needs to drain away as far as possible. Now, most extensions are 3 to 5 feet long. They need to get away from the foundation of the building, needs to get water away from common areas, ice rink in the winter. As you can see here, this is probably a walkway, and there is no extension on this downspout elbow right here. So what happens is all that water freezes and it can accumulate right over here, and in the winter that becomes an ice rink. That becomes a skating rink right here, and it's a safety hazard when all that water freezes over. So all this water needed to be captured inside of a downspout extension and drained further away. They can be buried or go underground or go above ground, and we just looked at a few options that are above ground, or they can be buried like you see right over here, and this is draining away less than 10 feet. And water damage due to bad water drainage can be very expensive. As you can see here, this is a really long extension. If this extension was short or cut right here, or if it didn't even have this entire 10-foot stick, what would happen is when it rains, all that water would come out of this downspout and it would accumulate in this area right here, and that could obviously damage the foundation of the home. And we learned in other slides the downsides of not having water going further away from the property. And here, this is the most standard downspout extension. You can see that here it goes a couple of feet away from the foundation of the home. But the purpose is ultimately to get water away from the building. So this slide here is common downspout solutions.